Hi everybody, it's Claire from My Heart Maggie, and I'm back a bit quicker than I thought I would be with a brand new video. So I don't know if you've seen this new Spiral Betty trend for Cricut, but I had to jump on it and show you how I made this tote bag. So just head to the Spiral Betty website and then go to upload your picture. I've got a picture of my dog Zeus, and then all I did was line it up in the circle and click OK. Then it spiralizes it for you, and you can adjust some of the settings. So with the rings you can make it tighter, and I think the tighter it is the more detail you get, but I didn't want to make it too tight because I think it would be really difficult to cut on the Cricut, so I knocked that down slightly where you can still see the detail but the spirals aren't so thick. Then I went to contrast and I upped the contrast a bit more just so that the image was a little bit darker. And then I just had a little play around with it, and then once I was happy with my image, I clicked download. It's free to use for personal use, so if you think that you're going to do this for a business, then you'll have to look at the terms and conditions, but if you're just making it for yourself, click to download. So now I'm in my Cricut design space and I'm going to upload the image. Click browse, and then in my downloads you'll see the image, just upload it. Then we want to choose the complex design, and then as you can see it's got a white background, so you just need to start clicking on the white bits, and this will take out the background white and then just leave you with the black bits that you want to cut. So just make sure that you get all the white bits out. I zoomed out a little bit there, and then chopped out all the bits that needed to be, and you can see because they've got the check pattern behind them, do a final check that you've got all the bits that you need to, and then click next to move on to the next step. So you want to choose cut image for this, so select that and then click next again. Then you can just choose it from your uploads, click it, add it into your canvas. It uploads like a pretty big file. I think this was like 20 odd inches, but I'm just going to adjust that to 10 inches so I know it will fit on my tote bag. Okay, and then check that you're happy with it all, and then once you're happy, that you can go to make. So because I'm cutting this on iron on, I'm going to mirror the design. Then I'm going to select my base material, and I'm going to use black iron on glitter, so I'm going to select that from my favourites, and then I'm just going to keep it on default, and I'm going to get ready to cut. I'm going to just move it slightly into the centre because I've masking taped the iron on to the mat, and I didn't want it to have to cut through the iron on as well, so I'm just going to move it off centre where it won't be affected by the masking tape. Here it is cutting, all sped up. It does take an absolute age. At one point I did think it wasn't cutting right. It did look like it was just making circles, but it goes all the way into the middle and then it comes back out with all the details, so don't worry if you think it's not working straight away. I did get a little bit confused about how I was supposed to weed it. I wasn't sure which bit I was supposed to pull, whether that bit there or the bit that goes in between that, but I looked at the original picture and I could clearly see that that little bit that sticks out is the bit that you're supposed to keep, so it made it a lot easier when weeding. Here's a nice little sped up version of me weeding the iron on. So mine did keep breaking, and I did see a lot of videos where everyone's just comes off really neat and tidy, but mine wasn't doing that. But I did find that it did weed a lot easier once I'd washi taped it to the desk, just because it just helped me to pull it off without it moving everywhere. It did take a little bit of time to weed, but it was quite a lot of fun going around in the circles, so it was quite therapeutic as well to do that. And as you start pulling it round and round, it does get a lot quicker because the circumference is smaller, but as you start doing it you can start to see design kind of take shape, and that's really exciting to see. So Yeah, this is probably one of my favourite bits, and I think this is what makes it so special once you see the image design start to come together. Here I am just ironing out the creases on my tote bag and warming up the surface. Find if you warm up the surface before you put your iron on down, then it just helps it diffuse a little bit better. So line it up, smooth out any creases, and then once you're happy with your design, you can start heating it. My Cricut heat press said to do 270 for 30 seconds on one side. Because the design was a lot bigger, I kept moving the easy press around just so I could cover all of the area and make sure that it was all fused to the surface. I also gave it just a 15-second press on the back as well, just to make sure that it was fused. So just keep going around in circles, hopefully get those creases out. And then you have to do a cool peel, so it was quite hot to touch, so I just let it cool down for a few minutes. I was so nervous about peeling this off. I just didn't know how it would go, so I held on to the tote bag and then just did a really slow peel. But I was so impressed with how well it peeled off. There was no bits that kind of weren't fused, or and it just peeled off really nicely. Even though the spirals are really thin in areas, it's still it came off really lovely. It was Cricut black iron-on glitter. I'm so pleased with how this tote bag turned out. It's such a cool trend, and I will try and tag the original creator of this trend if I can find them. But if you like this video, like and subscribe, and I'll be back soon with some more videos. So take care.